But the drive does not even fit in here. So I found some system 7.5 that probably should have support for this machine. And that is a CD-ROM from the Spark Station 2. And we got some strange error. But that could be the sector size if we're lucky, because this is jumpered for the Sun 512 byte sectors. Parity sector size. The sector size should be the third. Oh, that looks indeed better, so maybe it was a sector size. It is unfortunately a German version, because on a quick internet search I could not see a compatible version that was not specifically listed as compatible with this first generation Power Macintoshes, so I did not want to risk burning a CD that doesn't work at all. I wonder why the resolution is so low now. And this also is the very first time that I see a non-MacOS 10, MacOS X system running in front of me. As I said, I grew up in an area of the world where Macs were so expensive that very few people knew about them and had them. So actually we got quite some memory though, which could also mean I could maybe move it to some Sun Spark though. I wonder if this is real memory, 40 megabyte memory free. But as I mentioned earlier, to make real use of the system I would next need to spend even more money for this Apple AUI Ethernet connector, so yeah, this is also the reason why I didn't do anything with it a decade ago. How do I even get out of this? Maybe this VGA adapter was not fully plugged in and this is why we had this low resolution the first boot. It obviously looks way better with this higher resolution. Of course I cannot be sure that this is a real CD from Apple directly, but at least it looked like this. And I find it interesting that similar to macOS 10 you can already run it, but in some ways, so like macOS X, it is booting from a CD into a running system, and it's actually more usable than macOS 10. You mostly have a disk utility and terminal and such there, but I don't remember that any of those CDs would come with this grapher directly running. That is of course really interesting. As I said, this is the very first time I run pre-OS 10, and see this working, how to even... Why is there no close button? And why is here Ablage? For me, with the macOS 10 knowledge, slightly irritating that it says here file here without the... I expect here the application menu first. It actually runs surprisingly quick from the CD here. I totally didn't expect this. And given that the system is so vintage, nearly 25 years old by now, and it boots faster and runs faster from CD-ROM than latest Mac systems. This is really interesting, actually. Wait a second, are this somehow... This is crazy. I continue mistyping because this orientation bumps here are on the wrong keys. They have it here on D and K, and normally they are on F and J. Or this is crazy. I constantly move my fingers to the wrong keys. The German layout here is already as irritating as it is on macOS X, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm actually positively surprised. But as far as I heard and read, this is running without much memory protection, I guess, and such. Without all this memory protection, this kind of not as secure kernel has of course some performance advantage, but really interesting for me to run such an old system. Even though I'm German in Germany, I run all my systems in English. I'm much more used to this and prefer the English language also for my computer use. I find this localizations always a little bit strange. And so if I would want to install this here on some hard drive, by the way, these cables here are a little bit damaged already. So if I would install this on a hard drive, well, still missing the plastic snap-in pieces there, but I would have to Google a English version of this first. It looks like this may not come with a runtime switchable system language, I guess. At least this is how it looks on the first glance here. Yeah, very interesting indeed. I hope you found this as interesting as I. Before you unsubscribe, and I don't know why, I would really appreciate if you leave a comment first. So that's it for today. I have to think how I continue with the system, and I hope to see you soon.
Power Macintosh. Fast. Power Mac. Fast. Fast. Native. Speedy. Native. Faster. Faster. Faster.